Good evening. I wanted to come on tonight to go over different opportunities for nurses, both staying within the field of nursing and maybe not doing direct patient care, though, because they want to have their nights, holidays, and weekends and so forth with their families, or even being a nursepreneur, doing your own thing, starting your own job, your own career, your own business. Anyways, we're going to dive into that a little bit this evening. um, I'll tell you a little bit about me and why I'm great at giving advice on such things, and it's because I've done it. I have lived it. I have done it. I've done it many times. So I was a labor and delivery nurse for years, and then I started a network marketing company, or started with a network marketing company, and grew quickly. Went from consultant to director in a year, a free car driver within 18 months, and was able to relinquish my full-time position as a nurse and went PRN or as needed. Um, then I was got a little I got let self doubt and fear creep in, and I went back to corporate America, to be honest with you. And I went into clinical trials, and I worked in an office setting. I looked at clinical trials, determined what the protocols look like, what labs we needed to draw, what the meds look like, and all that fun stuff. But then I was like, gosh, I'd heard about clinical educators from a friend of mine, Susan. Hi, Susan. I hope you're watching. But from my friend Susan, and her sister did clinical education and traveled, and it just sounded like a lot of fun. She got to dictate her schedule and stuff like that. She got a company car, all the fun things, right? I thought, that sounds pretty interesting. I think I'd be good at that. I'm going to try it. So I put my resume out there. I hired someone to help me with my resume. I'm all about getting coached up. Okay. That's how I grew quickly in my network marketing company, or my MLM. I got a business coach to help me get through some of those mindset issues that you have whenever you are working for yourself, right? Anyway, so I got someone to coach me through how to revamp my resume. I hired someone; she helped me with my resume, and almost 6 to 9 months after I started that process, I landed my first clinical educator position. It was a contract position, and it was great, actually. I traveled all of Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa, I think were the states I traveled the most. And I traveled some in the nation too to fill some spots and so forth. But that was my main territory. I worked with sales reps, and I trained patients, nurses, physicians on a multiple sclerosis medication. I showed the patients how to concentrate their drug and how to inject themselves with the device that we had as well. So I did some medical device and pharmaceuticals all in that realm. But again, it was contract. It wasn't a permanent gig, right? So then I was like, okay, I kind of like this. So then I went into medical device, and I trained nurses on how to insert the indwelling urinary catheter with a very prestigious company. Um, and whenever I did that, I traveled all of Kansas, Missouri, Southern Illinois, Northwestern Kentucky. I did, in both positions, get to dictate my schedule. I got to write out my schedule. What did my schedule look like? And so forth. Um, and then, so like if my son had sports, or my daughter was doing something with choir or band or whatever she was doing at that time, then I was able to, revamp my schedule for that. I got to converse with some, executive level, or they call them C-suite level people within the hospitals and the organizations I went to, because that was a part of my job, was to communicate with them and present stuff to them. I really liked that I was still impactful with those nurses, right? I was training them on aseptic technique, how to do the proper care for their patients. And same with the patients and the nurses. And I was teaching them how to reconcentrate a medication. I was, giving that patient care, giving that knowledge, I guess, to the nurses to help them to be better nurses, right? And that's why we go into nursing. At least that's why I went into nursing. I went into nursing to make a difference, to feel fulfilled, to to do something with purpose, right? And I don't know if that's why you're in nursing, if you are a nurse, or if you know someone that is a nurse and this would benefit them, and maybe that's why they went into nursing as well. But we, as nurses, usually have this compassion about us. We just want to serve and help. And that's exactly why I went into nursing, honestly. Um, so I went from medical device to corporate America position, having to go into the office again. Not really my thing. But the reason why that came to be is mostly because of COVID, and some of the rules and regulations that were being handed down because of COVID. So that's my walk with all of that. So I started my recruiting business. I have a recruiting business. It's kind of on hold while I'm building up my coaching business more. I've been coaching since I was in my multi-level marketing company. I, recruited over 50 women or sponsored over 50 women, and I coach them on business strategy and so forth for the MLM or the network marketing company, how to grow within that industry. Got pretty good at it. Obviously, I became a director in a year and a free car driver in 18 months. And you have to sponsor so many people to do that, have a certain amount of sales. I made national quota sales 2 years in a row. First year, I got this fun diamond ring here. Second year, my kids wanted an iPad, and I worked my booty off to get them an iPad. Because that's one thing about me and how I train my clients as well is I will walk alongside you. I can't do the work for you though, but you have everything you need to get to where you need to be, because it's desire that's going to get you where you need to be. Okay. People can know all the things in the world, but if the desire is not there, they will not succeed. Guaranteed, 100%. Anyways, so that's why I had to come on today, because what I found is whenever I went from bedside nursing to working in corporate America and or doing the medical device, pharmaceutical realm as a clinical educator and so forth, I had a lot of my colleagues asking me, whoa, okay, how did you leave the bedside? I'm tired of the holidays, tired of the weekends. I'm just tired. My body's tired. I want that time with my family, and I want to be present with them on all of the holidays. So that's why I came on tonight, because I want to just tell you different ideas for if you want to leave the bedside and do something different, but you don't want to start your own thing. That's okay. You don't have to be a business owner. Okay. And if everyone was a business owner, what would this world be like? I don't even want to know. But anyways, if you don't want to be a business owner, there are many things you can do that's not going to take up your weekends, not going to take up your nights, not going to take up your holidays, all of the things. But if you want to be a business owner, nurses are well equipped for that too. We are especially well equipped for that, especially with healthcare going more into the community and more home-based. So many opportunities for a nurse outside of the hospital setting and outside of corporate setting, and being an entrepreneur for him or herself. So anyways, I do have some notes. So if you see me looking away, I apologize, but I don't want to miss a beat of any of this. So with no further ado, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, I'm Lydia Cook. I'm a nurse turned life and business coach, and I work with my clients on these things, how to transition from the bedside to being an entrepreneur or somewhere else in their career. We will also mostly with business owners, moms, nurses. They're busy, got the overwhelm. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. I have 2 businesses now, up to 6 figures. I've had over 4 businesses. But anyways, 2 businesses now, up to 6 figures. And I'm that busy mom that has a career and has businesses and desires to have it all. So anyways, stick with me. It's going to be hopefully quick from here on, but I appreciate you tuning in. Anyways, to learn more about me and my coaching, I want you to comment accelerator or just send me a direct message, or go to lydiacookcoaching.com, and Lydia is Lydia. Okay. Cook is just like you're cooking food, COOK. Anyways, so first of all, I just want to go into what are some things that nurses can do that is entrepreneurial, and some of it can cross over into working for others, right? So the first thing that nurses can do that's more entrepreneurial, I guess you could say, is health and wellness coaching. We are well equipped as nurses to look at lab results and discern what they say. We are well equipped to talk about nutrition. We've had all the classes. That's something we do as nurses at the bedside, right? We talk about, okay, you're diabetic. We talk about carbohydrates, what the carbohydrate and protein ratio should be while they're eating and so forth. So we talk about those things. We are well equipped to handle these things. Another thing too is online healthcare marketplace. So creating an online platform where healthcare professionals and patients can connect and to find other people within healthcare, or even other people that are going through what they're going through, or even just to offer a platform for healthcare services. So that all falls under online healthcare marketplace, things that, again, nurses are very well equipped to do. Online nursing education. So again, creating online course or certifications. A lot of nurses are going into those CPR realms, teaching life-saving classes and so forth into the community. I ran into another lady who has a sexual assault business. It's a nurse that goes out and does kits on people that have been sexually assaulted, and that's a business that she started as well. It's got that education piece, still serving the community. That's another option too. Online nursing consultancy or online nursing consulting. So again, just offering those consulting services to acute care facilities like hospitals, or post-acute care facilities such as your long-term care facilities, assisted living, skilled nursing. They all need some consulting services. If you have history with an electronic medical record, you could go in and do consulting for them on that. You could do clinical project management as well for these organizations, running projects for them from start to finish. That's something else that people can do that falls underneath that online nursing consulting. Telemedicine, that's all the craze, all the rave, right? It really became super popular during COVID because no one wanted to leave their houses, right? No one wanted to go to the doctor because everyone there was sick. So they stayed home. So they really relied on that telehealth, that nurse that could actually talk to them about lab results and just kind of feel them out over the phone, I guess, and asking their symptoms over the phone and so forth. So telehealth or telenursing, I guess you could say. Telestaffing too is something that nurses do with that telehealth, telenursing. A lot of nurses went into starting their own staffing agency for telehealth. So that's another one. Online medical transcription. So transcribing medical records, reports for healthcare providers and so forth, and why we're well equipped for this as nurses is because we did a lot of that as nurses, right? We wrote orders via computer, what have you. We know the jargon, the lingo that lay people don't necessarily know, right? So that's another thing. Online medical billing and coding. Again, we understand those ICD codes and those different codes that go along so that way patients are billed properly. So that's one. Online health product store. So creating like an e-commerce store that sells health related products such as supplements, medical supplies, health gadgets like Fitbit, like watches, so forth. Those things are something that nurses can do as well. Virtual nursing care, again, kind of goes along with that telehealth, but just giving service to patients on, you can monitor their wounds, and they could show you their wounds, and you could, give ideas towards how to manage those wounds. I do want to say though, that if you're going to go into something like that, or any kind of health and wellness coaching or nursing coaching in that regard, and you're going to practice you're going to give medical advice, is what I mean by practice, under your nursing licensure, you need to make sure that you're only seeing patients that are within the states that you can serve them within, that you are licensed through. Okay, so you don't want to be practicing things like this if you're not licensed in those states. So some people will not do medical advice. They'll or anything to that effect. They'll do just more some education, but they won't give medical advice and so forth. And then also, if that is a realm you're going to go into, the coaching, the virtual nursing care, what have you, I would speak, and this is a business you're going to start, I would speak with someone in that's legal, a lawyer of some sort that can draw up the proper paperwork for you as well. So that way, whenever you're contracting with folks, you've got a solid foundation. I've got a lawyer I hired to help me with some of my documents. It's not super costly. It's well worth it to protect your license and to protect you. So another thing too, if you're going to do that kind of coaching, it wouldn't hurt to look into some medical insurance as well for yourself, just to protect your license. So, or practice insurance is what I mean, not medical insurance. Hopefully you have that too, but practice insurance for yourself too. Another thing too that's under the nursing care that is something that nurses could start a business of their own is you see all this craze and rave about the hydration. People come to your house and give you fluid boluses, or people do Botox parties. RNs can do those things. Okay. We can own those businesses. We just need a medical director to help us prescribe and so forth. So that's another realm that I would think would kind of fall into that, but it's a little bit different because you're still going places. You're not necessarily working from home, but you're owning your own thing, right? So that's actually really cool. I've got a friend who is wanting to start kind of a Botox business of sorts. So it's just really neat to see people grow and help them. And then another thing too is health and wellness blogging. So as nurses, we've had so much experience at the bedside. We are great at blogging or medical writing about our experiences, right? So why not? I have a colleague named Karen who wrote a book about postpartum, how to care for yourself as a postpartum patient, what to expect when are you going to the labor and delivery room, because she was labor and delivery and a postpartum nurse. So she has that knowledge, right? And she's rocking it with that book. I mean, so that's something else nurses can do. Our experiences, we should not undercut. Okay. We have got a lot of, we're very privileged, let's put it that way, to have all this knowledge that we've gained through our nursing practice and through nursing school as well. And then virtual patient advocacy. So you can work as a virtual patient advocate, just helping patients navigate the system of healthcare, because that is huge. You've got people that work for insurance companies that do these things. You could start a consulting company that does this. That's something else to consider. So again, those are all things that you could do as a nurse. That's a side, you could start as a side gig or a side hustle until you're ready to relinquish the bedside, or you could just jump all in and do those things. But I'm going to read through the list again really quick, but these are things that nurses do a lot outside of nursing, but still keeps them in medicine. If you notice, I didn't mention anything like crafts. I didn't mention anything like lawn care, let's say, or window cleaning, because those aren't nursing related. So this is geared more towards nursing things. I have seen some really cool things on Facebook and some of the groups I'm in where people make badge holders or lanyards and they bling them out for nurses, or t-shirts for nurses, and they're nurses too. That's options too, but that kind of go under maybe health product sales, what have you. So anyways, just to recap that list again, it is health and wellness coaching, life coaching, something to that effect, online healthcare marketplace, online nursing education, online nursing consulting or consultancy, whatever, telemedicine staffing, online medical transcription, online medical billing and coding. Again, we're good at that as well. Online health product store. And again, that would be, your supplements, what have you. A lot of people do the oils, whatever. Online or virtual nursing care, health and wellness blogging, and then virtual patient advocacy. And there's so many more. If you know other things that nurses are great at, that's medicine related, that's a business they start, please put it in the comments. I want to know and add it to my list. But these are just things that I ran across and things that I thought of as well. Remember that before you start your own business, do your research, see what the market looks like for it. Make a business plan of some sort. Start building your online presence, make yourself known. Okay. So people know who you are, so that way you're successful, and don't do it alone. Okay. Get a coach, get someone to help you, because you will be more successful if you have someone to walk aside you to help you be accountable. Because if you don't have that, you'll probably let yourself go a little bit, because we're a little easy on ourselves, a little too easy on ourselves. Okay. Anyways, now I want to go over a list of things that nurses can do that keeps them, that's not their own business that they can start, okay, but things that they could do that still keeps them, what's wrong with store? Engaged with patients, still keeps them engaged in medicine, but they're not having to work the holidays, the weekends, all of that not so fun stuff necessarily. So those are e-commerce store selling high demand products. One second. I feel like I lost it. Okay. Uh, again, e-commerce store selling. So again, just selling stuff through e-commerce. But telehealth nursing, medical transcriptionist, medical coder, case manager, nurse educator, health coach, clinical research coordinator, utilization review nurse, a remote patient monitoring nurse, and triage nurse. A lot of these are the same things that nurses can do if they own their own business as well. But I'll tell you, you're usually working for another company with these. So insurance companies hire telehealth nurses a lot. You've got medical transcriptions through insurance too. Same with the coders. Case managers can be through insurances. Some of your larger health systems have these too. Nurse educator is what I did, and I worked for a pharmaceutical company. My title was nurse educator. I worked as a clinical research coordinator actually when I worked clinical trials. I looked at the site documents, determined what labs the nurses needed to draw. It was actually kind of neat too, because I got to find nurses in Canada and the United States, or home health nurses, to draw these labs and to administer the medications for these patients. So I also had to make sure they're credentialed properly and so forth. You learn so much in that realm. It's actually really neat. Health coach, a lot of insurance companies will have health coaches as well. Nurse educator also can go towards medical device. So when I was a medical device, when I worked for medical device, my title is actually a clinical manager. And I don't understand what that title really meant, clinical manager, other than I managed my territory, I guess you could say, and my accounts within that territory. But I worked for a very large medical device company that had about a 90% market share on urology, critical care. So we did intra-abdominal pressure devices and so forth too. So whenever I worked for them, I again managed that territory. I managed every account I went into. I knew the contacts I had to be with and so forth. It was actually really neat. That's something else I probably wouldn't mind doing a little bit part-time. I really liked engaging with the nurses, but I love the coaching aspect. Health coach, you work for another company. Again, you're working under their umbrella, right? But still under your licensure as well. So a lot of times when you're working as a health coach for insurance company, what have you, they also would like you to be current on your licensure. So be mindful of that and practice within certain states. Like when you're looking for those jobs, it'll say what states you have to be licensed in. If that's something you need help with, reach out. I've gotten pretty good at looking at those things. So, and then remote patient monitoring nurse, again, you would do that for some large health systems. Home health and hospice are actually starting to do some video visits. So if you work for a home health or a hospice company, they could also be engaging those video visits and utilizing you for that situation as well, if that's something you're interested in. And then triage nurse kind of falls under the telehealth nurse. But what you do is, you're just triaging the patient, their symptoms and so forth, and then looking at the physician's schedule and scheduling that patient out for a block of window with that physician. Typically, it kind of falls on a telehealth nurse too. Telehealth nurses do a lot of the same things as well. With that monitoring piece though, patients might have a blood pressure cuff at home and you're talking to them about it. And that device that they're wearing may communicate with that physician's EMR system that they're using in their office even. And then you would follow up with that patient, or the patient's putting in their glucose, or not glucose, but their glucose levels. And so you're following up with that patient and talking to them about, are you symptomatic of being hypoglycemic or hyperglycemic, and talking that patient through that, and as well what that dietary need looks like for that patient, and asking them those dietary questions as well. So those are all things that nurses can do, that gives them their holidays back, their weekends back, their evenings back for the most part. But it gives them some of those freedoms, right? So, but those are just a few things that I thought of that nurses can do that's outside of the bedside, but still gives them that engagement that they want, still feeling fulfilled, but still keeping their priorities where they want their priorities to be, right? A lot of us are mothers, and we want that time with our family, because it's very short. Trust me, I can't believe I've got an almost 20-year-old. That time that they're home, that you get to impress on them and disciple to them and love on them, is so short. So, anyways, I want to know, what are your thoughts? Are you wanting to start your own thing, become a nursepreneur, start your own gig, or are you wanting to leave the bedside but have your holidays, your nights, your weekends back, and but still have that engagement with the patients and still utilize your nursing degree? Or are you someone totally different from that, and you're like, no, I don't want to do anything nursing. I'm done with nursing. I want to do something else. That's fine. There's a heck of a lot of opportunities out there for that too. But anyways, I failed to mention too that if you're a case manager working for a company, they usually do want someone with some kind of advanced degree, like an RN or what have you, and you still need your licensure for that too. I think I said case manager earlier, and I'd be remiss not to come back to my notes and just make sure I hit on that again. But again, I'm here to help. I'm here to walk alongside you. Let me know how I can be a blessing to you. Let me know what from this was a blessing to you. But I just want to remind you again, I am Lydia. I'm nothing special but a nurse who has drive, passion, and became a life and business coach because I saw a need and wanted to fulfill it. And I had that yearning in my heart just to continue to serve. And that's why I became a life and business coach. I've had at least, well, definitely 4 businesses, and I still have 2 currently of 6 figures, recruiting business and a coaching business. And I've learned how to pivot in both. And I've learned what works and what doesn't work. And I've learned how to overcome the overwhelm. And that's what I do with my clients. And I do it in my Time and Money Accelerator. It's one-to-one coaching where my clients get me. Once a week, I get on a call with them for an hour, and we go through some things. We go through some mindset issues that they're having. If you're feeling like you have self-doubt, or the comparison game's kicking in, fear, all the things, we go through that. We go through social media strategy, because a lot of my clients are like me. Like, you did stuff on Facebook, posted pictures of your family, and you get on Instagram and look at fun recipes or fun workouts, right? But then you're like, yeah, I don't know how to do anything else. What's a reel? Really? And then what's a story? Hello. And then, no, I'm not going live on the social medias, right? Well, now look at me. That's who I was. That's who I was a year ago, by the way. Okay. I had my coaching business, wasn't really doing much with it. Just had a few clients that I wasn't doing anything personally with, like face-to-face in this regard, like online. And now look, anyways, if I can do it, you can do it. But again, I do it in my Time and Money Accelerator. It's my one-to-one coaching with my clients. Comment Accelerator to learn more, or go to lydiacookcoaching.com to learn more. I have a free workshop every first Tuesday of the month at 6:30 Central. If I'm not going to have it because I got baseball or something, I'll let you know, but I definitely try to make it work on the first Tuesday of every month. Consistency is key. So that's why I picked the first Tuesday of every month. My workshop this next time will be over, I'll have a little bit of something social media. I just haven't quite determined what I'm going to do social media wise. But definitely going to go over the difference between a bookkeeper and an accountant, but why it's important to have both, because it is very important when you're a business owner to have both. So I'm going to go over some of that this Tuesday, May the 2nd at 6:30 Central live. If you're a part of my Facebook group, it'll be live in that group. If you're not, comments that you want to be a part of the group, I'll be happy to add you to it, or friend me on Facebook and DM me that you want to be a part of the group. That's cool too, whatever. But anyways, I'll let you have the rest of your Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday, right? Rest of your Wednesday evening back. Let me know what you liked best about this. Let me know how I can best serve you. I want to walk alongside you. I want to be a blessing to everyone as much as possible. And let me know, are you an entrepreneur, going to go your own way, or are you going to adventure into some of these other things I talked about? Make tonight a great night. It's completely up to you, and take care.